Hi guys. Hello. If you guys are coming in, please comment hi. Tell me where you guys are at. Sometimes there's a delay here for the streaming thing, whatever it's called. So I don't know. We see the amount of viewers there are. Hi Safa. What's up, Emil? Hey Cash. Hey Suna. Whew. Since there's so many windows in this house, it's hard for it to stay warm. So I am cold. Hi Issy. There's a lot of Izzies. I know there's another Izzy. I know there's Issy with S. Hi George. Hello guys. What's up, Jay? Hey Jess. I'm gonna start at 4:05. Hey Brooke. I'm in Northern Virginia, the DMV area, but I'm from LA. I'm a California girl. What about you, Cash? I was just looking at crypto right now. Hi Dan. Hola Obi. Hi Tabitha. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I honestly haven't looked at the charts much. Hi Lexi, you made it. I haven't really looked at the charts. I was back testing a little bit yesterday. But to be honest, I was like so tired after last week. Oh, yeah, crypto's tanking. We're gonna talk about that today. Hey JC, happy Sunday. I'm glad you made it. North Carolina. Where in North Carolina? I've been to Charlotte. I like Charlotte. It's very nice. Pretty calm. But I think they said that it was going to get really bad in North Carolina. Hello, Ashley. That's my sister's name. Hey, Rick. I'm glad you made it. Raleigh. Yeah. I haven't touched a single chart this weekend. Yeah. I needed rest too. Hey, Elitza. I needed rest too. I was mentally drained last week. Now, Raleigh better than Charlotte. You think so? I've only been to Raleigh once. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I can't imagine the people that are working right now. Like, I feel for them. Okay. It's 4:04. I'll send in a last warning and then I'll start. Yeah, this week is gonna be interesting. I love when you guys send photos. Thank you, Lisa. This week is gonna be interesting. Right now, crypto's tanking, so we'll talk about that. You know, when it comes to, like, yes, we trade futures, but it's just good to know what's going on with politics. You know, whatever Trump is saying, Trump really does move the market a lot, especially crypto. And when crypto is moving, so are the indices. When market opens, I do expect that the indices are going to start moving a lot. And that's really why I don't like to say I have a bias, because if Trump makes a tweet, like, fuck your bias. Sorry for my language, but really it doesn't matter. If you're trying to, if you think we're bullish, one news event can really affect the market. So that's why I really don't like to say, like, oh, I'm specifically looking for this, because I mean, just this week with the whole Greenland situation, people were so confused as to why we were selling. But based off that, you know, that alone just affects stocks and everything. So That's why people who were like, oh, I'm very bullish on NASDAQ, it was exactly Sunday where I said, if I do expect that the market was going to drop because of everything that Trump was saying about Greenland and they hadn't, resolved anything yet. So Trump opening his mouth ruins any structure. Yeah, like we just need him to say he loves XRP for it to go crazy. But it's the truth. I mean, these market conditions are completely different than they've ever been before. I started trading in 2023, and so I've seen when Trump has been in office and when Biden was in office, and yeah, he really does move the market a lot. So it's just something to know. Like, you don't need to be reading the news 24/7, but just stay up to date, kind of have an idea. There's a bunch of YouTubers that like to review news and how that affects crypto, and so I really like to look at that because I know that crypto and indices will move very similar. I don't really pay attention to what stocks are doing. The only stocks that I would pay attention to are typically, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia. Those are the main three that really do move the indices. But other than that, I don't really pay attention to stocks. You don't have to study that. So I don't trade gold only because I don't like how it moves, but I'll take a look at it afterwards, after I do NASDAQ is what I like to focus on. It's going to give you the most opportunities, and if you're a beginner, it's just ES, S&P 500, SPX, whatever you want to call it. That is going to be the best pair or product you want to trade. And other than that, NASDAQ. But yeah, I don't really like to trade gold, but I can take a look at it. I never look at it, so don't hold me against the whole analysis. But let's see here. NQ. Yeah, I only look at NQ. Silver, I just added it, and XRP, but I don't look at anything else. So I have my zones from last week. I'm going to delete everything because basically Sunday for me, it's like I just really forget what happened last week and I just want to start fresh. So y'all already know, start marking up the zones. Yeah, and then once I feel like my chart is too crowded, then I just clean it up. But let's see here. Okay. This is on the 1 hour, by the way. For now, I'm just going to have this. The only reason why is because I just want to focus on where we are. Now, the reason why crypto is tanking is because Trump had said that he was basically cool with Canada and China doing a deal. And so that was fine, right? And now he's saying that he is going to do 100% tariffs on China if they actually proceed with the deal. So obviously tariffs are just naturally going to move the market in a bearish way. So that is why crypto is tanking. We can look at other stuff about the news afterwards, but just so you guys know, that's why it's moving bearish. So as far as NASDAQ and indices, I do think that they will open up bearish. Now, when people are selling crypto, gold and silver move bullish because a lot of people, they don't trust crypto as much. Yeah, 1.83. Yeah, I know. I just read your comment, Rick. Yeah, hi Larry. Yeah, so when people are selling crypto, they just buy more gold and silver. They feel that it's a more secure asset. That's why silver just hit $100. So when also another tip, I have put this in the chat earlier, when the dollar is bearish, gold and silver are bullish. That's that's how they're not correlating, but that's I forgot the term. Some people call it like divergence or whatever. But just so you know, if you trade gold and silver, it would be good for you to look at the dollar and what it's doing. Oops, sorry. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, so just mark these zones for now. Let me go on the 5-minute. And yeah, last week was really good. There was so many big movements. 35 points. That's okay. Again, the zones, I don't really want them more than 30, 35 points. Only because my stop loss is like 25 to 30 points. Now, as far as last week, we were down here, and we've just been bullish like crazy. Now you can clearly see that. I'll just draw this zone here. We had this crazy gap, and a lot of people were expecting that we were gonna fill it right away. But you guys have to remember that yes, gaps typically fill pretty quickly, but this was a major gap. Like, this was abnormal. Say 200 points. Something, a big move like that, it's not going to be filled right away, and especially it's not going to be filled right at Asia session. And so I'll answer some of your questions, guys, afterwards, but I'm going to do the analysis first, and then I answer the questions. And so Monday, we continued selling. Now we ended up retesting this area. Okay, this is why I like the levels, because the levels don't lie. They show you the price level that market just wants to react to. So 431, price retested here. Monday, Asia session, okay, and even for Monday market open, this was MLK Day, so I didn't trade it, but there are some holidays where you're gonna find a nice little move, because a lot of people aren't trading it. I just didn't feel like trading MLK Day, but if you did trade it, you probably could have caught a nice little where is it, a nice buy right off this level. See, you don't need too much. Just marking this low is so important, because this is a major area of liquidity, and then Friday's major low. Some people really pay attention to Monday's high and Friday's high or low. I used to do that. I just mark the levels, and if it happens to be Friday's major high or low, then it's a bigger confluence. And I mean, just this alone lets you know that this would have been a great trade Monday. And then Tuesday here, we kept selling. And then again, same thing. We retested this 431 level, and sales continued to this other zone. It's just zone to zone. And when we move so much, oh, thank you, Yad, for correcting me. 100% tariff on Canada if they do the deal with China. Sorry, I got that mixed up. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, when we move so much, we're going to range. We're not going to continue expanding. And you can just tell that we were ranging from 431 to this zone. And when we have equal lows, where's the brush? Okay, equal low, equal low. This is a liquidity sweep. I know that looks crazy, but this low here is a liquidity sweep, and it happened at 8:30. So I don't know. I think there was a news event here too, but I don't trade news, because you can always find a really good move after news, and 9 times out of 10, it's just you're gonna catch as many points even if you didn't trade exactly at that news time. So we were ranging, we did a liquidity sweep, and people probably started selling, thinking that we were gonna keep dropping. But remember, the overall trend for NASDAQ is bullish, so we broke above these levels, and I did say, I know like in the analysis 267 was a major area. Let me see here on 5 minute. Yeah. Ooh. 267 was one of the levels I remember I said to enter buys, and it was super clean. Okay, now people were probably expecting to hold, but like, you guys have to realize when we are entering on trades, 9:30 is gonna be the most optimal time to really enter, or 8:30, because it's pre-New York Open. And obviously we want to be buying low, so really the best entries are here. If you didn't buy here, this entry would have been great as well. But once we're already like at another major zone, you really have to see how the candles close above or below. Yes, these candles closed above, but they're dojis, and that's why I say, and this is part of the strategy course, you need to know what the candlesticks are, because if you don't and you buy here, you're going to take an L. But if you notice, oh, there's dojis and there's a market shift, okay, we're failing to continue pushing higher, and then this is a break of structure, this candle here is breaking structure, and we're continuing to sell, then yeah, you don't really want to be buying at these high major zones. And so yeah, we didn't keep, you can see here we just pulled back and then we finally broke above. But you really want to be waiting for these pullbacks to be entering on any of these buys or sells. If we've been moving so much, you want to just wait for the pullback. So then Friday, same thing. Let's see here, we were just ranging. So when you can just study what cycle the market is in, are we in a range, are we accumulating, you know, there's like so many different terms, but just know, are we in a range, or are we finally breaking out of that range? And you're only going to be able to determine that with these zones and these price levels. And that's how you just keep it simple. I can clearly see this 702 area is an important level to mark. Why? Because this was resistance. Okay, we kept resisting, rejecting this area. We finally broke above at 10 a.m. And this buy, remember, I didn't even take the trade on Friday, but it was a great buy. I forgot what level I said to enter on, but I know it was like pretty low, like 605, something like that. If anybody took that trade, if you could remind me. But yeah, 605, or this is 606. 605, I had marked this level. Why? Because I saw that price kept pulling back into this area. And yes, I have my zone, so if that confuses you, you can move it a little higher. Okay, that way it's like there's no little gap in between the zone. But yeah, I said to enter buys here, and then afterwards 702, if you can clearly see that it's a perfect entry. Why? Because it was resistance. Once we've had so many retests and we're finally bullish again, we're gonna break this area. We're not gonna continue selling. We want to take out this liquidity, because a lot of people have orders here, and that's why we continue pushing. And we push into the zone. Same thing, we reject the zone. You can see that there's dojis at the zone. Like, it's the way I trade, I just look at the candlesticks and how they react to the zones, and I just trade based off that. What date? I don't know what you mean, Menendez. This is this week. What's up, Joe? But yeah, if that makes sense, can you please let me know? Like, just say it makes sense. Because you know, I just try to keep it as simple as possible. And this week again, it was just kind of weird, because we had Monday as the holiday, and then, you know, everything that Trump had said, it just made it very volatile. Nasdaq looks like a sell-off before it hits a buyer's area to build up. Thank you guys. Yeah, like I don't really trade supply and demand. I know a lot of people like it and it makes sense to them. So, I mean, if you trade supply and demand, that's great. It's just like support and resistance. That's how I see it. Some people, they just don't understand certain things. So I just never really learned supply and demand right away. Just always use support and resistance. Right now, I mean, we are bearish. We have this imbalance here. So I definitely do think that I do think that we could open up bearish. And again, like I said, how Trump mentioned how he will put 100% tariffs on Canada if they do that deal. So, and how crypto is moving, I just do think that we are going to open up bearish. Now, we'll only really know if the market will continue that way if we finally trade below the zone. If we start trading below the zone, then yeah, I do expect that we're gonna do a retest and then continue selling. I mean, not all imbalances get filled, but if we were to sell and keep selling, there's an imbalance right here. But not all of them get filled, so I don't really like to like I said, marry that idea. But I mean, we did reject this major zone, and we pretty much are, let's see here, we've just been ranging so much in this area, and these are the highs. So I don't know if we'll reach all-time highs anytime soon, but yeah, if I do think that we will open up bearish. And if we don't open up bearish, or at least if we don't get to this zone, because I think we could at least drop down to this zone. If we don't, then if we start holding and trading above 755, okay, then I think we will continue at least to reach the zone. And then you really want to see how price were to react to this area. Same thing. If we break above the zone, we're going to keep pushing up. Let's see here. You know, when you're doing this analysis too, you want to look left, and you can see here, same thing. All of this is an imbalance. So even this level here would be important. But why I like trading zone to zone is because right now we know that we just need to focus on this area, 840 to 600. We just have to focus in this area. Once we're out of that area, let's say we start trading down here, then we got to focus what's going on here. If we start trading above, then we're going to focus on this range in between these zones. But you know, for now, I just do think that we are going to open up bearish. And if we don't, then you already know, 755. If we start trading above it, then I would consider us, you know, continuing the bullish move. Let's see here on the daily. Last week, overall, we were so bullish. Candles look funny. Weekly too. But you guys have to remember too that we're going to have to form a wick. And it would make sense if we take out these highs to continue pushing higher. But for now, that's just what I'm looking at for our... On Sundays, I look at all of the time frames. I don't look at all of the time frames every single day. Ashley, so like I said, on my strategy, I'm just looking at price action, market structure, zones, candlesticks, break of structure trades, and how price retests these levels. But yeah, for now, let me see here. I'm gonna delete all that. I'm gonna delete these levels because we're not there right now. 702 is an important level just because it was a major resistance area. Turn support, but it looks like we broke below, so 605 is another major level, and 755. I'm gonna make these all black. That way you guys can see them. These are the only levels that I have for right now. Tomorrow will be different because I have to see how we open up. But this is good for now. If you guys want to be looking at the market, like I said, you want to see if we open up bearish and if we continue, how price reacts. If not, if we keep pushing up, you want to see if we get like a retest and continue. But if neither of this happens, we're going to be ranging. Because again, we could continue and then keep just going in between this area. That's all. Yeah. When you're trading, which time zones do you focus on? I just focus on the 1 hour, 5 minute, and the 1 minute. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, guys. The ICC method is just something that was taken, and it's just supply and demand. Like, I don't have anything good to say about that, but it works. So a lot of people use it, but I don't trade it, and I don't look at any other strategies because this works for me. So it's just something that I've learned from. I've learned from so many different mentors. Just looking at market structure, being able to identify what the candlesticks are doing and how they're responding to your zones and levels is the way I go about it. But I don't trade ICC. It's just some supply and demand from what I've heard. And even then, every strategy that people, that teach ICT, smart money concepts, it all works. It just really depends on what makes sense to you. This to me is the most simple because all I'm doing is waiting for price to break above or below any of these main levels. And then I take a trade. I mean, you guys have seen that all of the trade setups that I call out, they're pretty consistent and they're all just break of structure trades. Or if I'm seeing that price keeps retesting a level. But the base of everything is support and resistance. You can just, if you know support and resistance, you'll be able to mark these levels and you just take the trade if price breaks structure. So do you go with the trend or against it? Sometimes I go against the trend. Like I remember some guy was like, why are you giving out sell entries if we're bullish? And it ended up being a day where you would have wanted to take sells. So I don't marry a bias because like I said, last week, a lot of people were super bullish and then Trump was, announcing everything with Greenland and that made the market very bearish. So if you were stuck on a bias, then you would have taken a loss or you wouldn't have been able to take a sell entry. So for beginners, yes, it's always best to take a trade with the trend. You're not wrong if you take a trade with the trend. But it is definitely more advanced when you are more open to taking a trade against the trend. But yeah, I don't trade any other strategies. I don't look at any other strategies just because this has worked. I've seen it work for a meal, but it's pretty simple. I mean, you really can't, when you're learning how to trade, you cannot avoid the candlesticks and understanding what they're telling you. You can't avoid the fact that marking these zones, price respects these zones. So it's just something that some people, they really like supply and demand and they like understanding it that way, and other people, they just like ICT and fair value gaps and order blocks and all that, which I know some people will say like, oh, this is an order block. I don't know because I literally just say that it's a zone, and if price respects the zone, and I'm going to take a trade off it. And I've been trading for 3 years, since 2023. It works, yeah. I mean, you guys can see the trade recaps, and all of the trades have really been hitting. But yeah, I learned in 2023. I had a lot of friends. When I moved to Miami, I just knew a lot of people that were very successful in day trading, and I was a sponge and I wanted to learn. I thought it was a scam. And when I realized that it was real, because they showed me their deposits and their wallets and everything, I was like, dang, you have to show me this. I want to learn. So what I did was I would watch their lives. What I'm doing right now is what they would do, and I would just tune in to all of their analysis for the week or for the day, and I would just watch that, and then I would practice myself, and I would mark up the chart. Yeah, I hate the order block language. I mean, I respect when somebody, I respect what everybody does for trading, Like I said, if it makes sense for you, do it. But I'm not going to change what I do because it works. So, yeah, I remember that I was like a sponge, and I'm the type where like if I know somebody that is better than me at something and is way more successful than I am at it, then I'm gonna be a sponge and I'm gonna try and learn every bit of information. So that's what I did. And then I didn't paper trade. Like I didn't paper trade because they told me not to paper trade. So I learned a lot from them, but they didn't give me like the best advice. Everybody was like, no, just start trading with your own money. And so I remember that I was trading gold, but I didn't really like it. And then I got a mentor. I always wanted a mentor. I really wanted to be coached by somebody. I just knew that if I had a mentor, I would learn even more. So I had a mentor. I learned a lot, but I didn't like the strategy afterwards because I would try and I didn't find consistency, and it had a low win rate. I learned a lot from them, but it had a lower win rate. It was like 30% from everything that I tracked. So yes, I had to be very disciplined if I wanted to see, if I wanted to end the week or month green. I spent over $6,000 in mentorship. So yes, you can learn how to trade for free. There's YouTube University. There's a lot of people, but I wanted to invest to have a mentorship because I wanted to be coached. I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to learn from somebody that's more successful than I am. Like I did Baby Pips, which is like a Forex thing online. It's like a free Forex course. And I had started with Forex. So I had done Baby Pips. I was trading on my own. I was trading a cash account and everything. And then I got a mentorship. After like 4 months of that mentorship, I still hadn't really been consistent. Now, mind you, like I was very greedy, and I would make profit, but I just didn't have a plan. That's one thing that I never learned from the first people that I was learning from. Like they didn't teach me how to make it into an actual business or how to scale. They just, the mentors back in the day, like the original traders, because now there's so many people that are teaching and everything, they didn't really share that. They just shared like, oh, I made big profit and learned my strategy. But the reality is you have to treat trading like a business, and a lot of people don't teach that. They don't teach like a real risk plan. So yeah, I paid over, yeah, I think for me, like it was like $6,000 to $8,000 in mentorship. So I was still doing Forex. I had started prop firms, which was with FTMO, and I didn't buy too many. I think I had only bought like two, but it's because it was more expensive. It was like $600 to $1,000 just for a challenge. And I could never, I think I only got to the second step, the second stage, but I didn't really like it. And then again, same thing, like I just wasn't happy. So then I started learning about futures. And this was now November 2023. I started learning about futures. People were still trading Forex. Nobody was trading futures at the time. Nobody knew about the futures firms. So I had found somebody that was a futures trader. And all of these people, they don't mentor anymore. So, yeah, like just letting you guys know, they don't mentor anymore. But I found somebody that teaches futures. And so I decided to do a different mentorship. And once I did that mentorship, I finally got funded. I got funded with Apex, My Funded Futures, Top Step. I got funded with all of the firms right away, like literally after a month. I don't trade their strategy, but I did learn a good amount. But I don't really trade their strategy. And then I figured that I should just be trading ES, because that's one thing that they did teach me, is that I should trade ES as a beginner of futures. And so I started trading ES, and yeah, after literally a month of switching from Forex to futures, I got funded and I got the payouts, and then I was just consistent. And then at this point I had been back testing so much, and since I was no longer, because I didn't mention this, when I was trading Forex, I was trading gold at first and then US 30. So when I transitioned to futures, I started trading ES. And then once I found, that consistency and my strategy was hitting every time, then I switched to NASDAQ. And yeah, that's literally the whole journey, and how I, just stuck to futures. And that's why I always recommend futures, because there's no slippage, where once you enter, you're basically either in profit or negative. And, you don't have to deal with, like I said, the slippage or the different charts. Everybody's using the NQ1 or the NQH chart. And to me, calculating the contracts with the points made the most sense, because I never really liked the whole pips and the lot size. I never really liked that. So yeah, I just like the firms more. But if I were to, I know I had said that I would do the $100 challenge. Like, that's the only time where I would trade Forex, is if I want to trade with less than $200. Yeah. ES is nice. ES is it's a very clean indice to trade. It correlates with NASDAQ. So, if you see that NASDAQ is trending bullish, ES is going to do the same thing. So you could take a trade on ES. But yeah, I had learned from so many people. Emil knows, we know a lot of people also in the trading space, but like overall, after learning from so many different people, the most successful people that I know, they just keep it simple and they don't change anything. Like after a while, once you've gotten funded or you've gotten a payout, you're not going to change anything. Because why would you? You don't need to learn anymore. Like a lot of people get confused thinking that they have to learn more information. You don't. You just, as long as you go into the trading day with a clear mind, your nervous system is relaxed, you have a plan, you'll do great. Let me see. With FOMC being this week, do you tend to wait to trade? I notice the market is... Oh, that's a good thing too. Thank you, Ashley, for mentioning that. So I'm going to look at news. Sorry. New Forex Factory. Let's see here. I have a question. Like in total, I spent $6,000 to $8,000 in mentorship from two different people, and and they like lasted differently. One mentorship was completely different. But yeah, I mean, it's just tuition money. That's what we call it. So we have FOMC on Wednesday, unemployment claims. Yeah, it's going to be a very volatile week. Monday, Tuesday, yeah, don't force anything. Like, if you guys already know, like you guys already know before news, price is always going to act a little weird. It's going to be a little choppy. And then even on the news events, sometimes it's not even trending. So I don't, FOMC is going to be always like a very hit or miss day. I don't trade the FOMC news event. And if I were to trade it, I would wait 30 minutes after. So again, you have to remember news, it, like I was saying, like Trump can make a tweet about the how the economy is terrible or with the country, and it just completely moves the market. So you're trading indices, you're trading stocks. So yes, the news is gonna affect. Let's say they're even talking about another government shutdown. That's another situation that could affect the market. Like news is just naturally gonna affect how price moves. Yeah, I mean, my mentorship, the first one had lasted like 2 months. The second one, it was like you just pay and you get their information. But just have discernment. I mean, and if you're gonna pay for a mentorship, you have to really listen to what your mentor is telling you and really stick to it. Don't, like, if you're gonna be learning from somebody else, don't try and watch videos from other people, because you're paying for something. You should at least give it a chance and stick it out. Hi Jess. Hey, I missed what you said. What would you? So with forex, you can trade with as little as like $5, but with futures, you have to have like a minimum of like $250 to trade micros. Yes, I do track and journal my trades. I use TradeZella. I have to set it up, but I'll be able to give you guys a link to get like 20 to 30% off. Um, you can have 20 to 30% off for the month or the year. I have to set it up. Thank you, Brooke, for reminding me. And I'll share that with you guys. Um, yeah. But overall, I know for now that's what I'm keeping for NQ. Now, let's see here. I can do, hold on. Somebody had asked for gold and silver. Let's see. Hold on. I want to remove this because this is annoying me. I'll have the link. I'll try to have it by tonight. If not by tomorrow, Brooke. But yeah, TradeZella, and then you guys will be able to get like 20 to 30. I think it's 30, but no less than 20%. And let's see if I missed anything. But yeah, if you were to trade, if you're like a complete beginner, just paper trade. Once you stick to the strategy and you see that you're taking winning trades for like 2 weeks to a month, honestly, a month, then I would just say either get a prop firm or a cash account. But I'm not in the place to tell you to trade with X amount, because for some people, $100 would be a lot. For some people, $500 is a lot. Like I would never say how much you should start with. Just do what you're okay with losing. If you're not okay with losing $50, then I don't know what to tell you. Don't trade with more than $50, Just keep it to what you're comfortable with. Do any of you guys have any other questions? Do you guys still want me to look over gold? if you do want me to look at gold or silver, let me know. Because other than that, we're pretty much like done for the NASDAQ analysis. Yeah, I would just say paper trade. Once you see that consistency, then you can do the cash account or prop firm account. But I wish I had done that, because that would have saved me so much money. But yeah, FOMC 2 p.m. I would trade. If you wanted to take a trade, I would just wait till 2:30. And then unemployment claims, that always moves the market a lot. Okay. Okay, Patrick. Okay, Brooke. Hi, Yad. So the zones are just support and resistance areas where you see price has retested so many times. If you download my free strategy course, I explain how to do it there. Ready for a new week mañana. Thank you, Rick. I'm just very straight up because I have lost a lot of money, but I've also been able to make a lot of money from trading. Like, I've been a little wild and, gone a little crazy. So I've just developed a lot of experience now. But I'll take a look at gold. Let's see, GC futures. Now I'm going to do the GC one because, again, I want all of the price action. Yeah, I don't know why people like trading this. That's so ugly just looking at it. But it's pretty volatile. So just off the bat, hold on. So I'm on the 1 minute. I'm like, no wonder it looked ugly. Daily. If I'm not wrong, yeah, we have no previous price action. Hold on. Where do you mark your charts before it opens? So I only mark my charts on TradingView, and you just saw me like I mark it on Sunday for the whole week, and then Monday if I have to add anything. But let's see here. Okay, why am I marking the zone here? Because this was the true breakup structure of this high. Okay, some people might say resistance area, some people will call it another thing, but you can clearly see you want to have a zone here. Now, we're not going to be pushing up all the time. We're not going to be bullish forever. And I've never even looked at gold, but I mean, clearly you could have just bought gold and held for years, which is the smart thing to do. Like, if you can buy physical gold and silver, that is a very smart thing for you to do. Let's see here. So I would definitely have this little zone here, because at some point, like I said, we do have to drop a little bit. Okay. Now, I don't know how many points gold typically moves in a day, and this is something that you guys need to know, even if you're going to be trading something completely different. But you have to pay attention to how much the pair or product moves a lot when you're drawing these zones. So on the 1 hour, I'm going to mark the zone because I'm not trading on the 4 hours, a good overview, but the 1 hour is going to be more precise. And other than the 1 hour, I'm going to use the 5 minute. I don't use like any of these other ones, but I just try to stay consistent with it. Now, same thing, you can clearly see resistance. We came back into this area that was once resistance, but now it's support. And then we finally broke above this zone. We retested, we continue pushing up. Very simple. All you're waiting is for price to break above these zones, or to see how price rejects these zones. Because you could have taken a clean sell here, Let's see here. 9:30. Another thing you want to do, like I said, I've never traded gold. I never look at it. So this is like me completely just doing an analysis right off the bat. I want to look at New York Open. What did we do at New York Open? Well, we're trading around this area, and if we look left, this was a low, this was an important low, multiple retests. But like I said, you want to know how many points your product or pair moves typically. Like NASDAQ, I know that we're typically doing 100 points a day. And my stop loss is 25 to 30 points. So my zones are going to be around that area. For ES, it'll move like 30 to 50 points a day because there's a difference. There's a price difference. So for ES, my zones are going to be differently. So for gold, I really don't know how big you want your zones, but I'm not going to do my zones crazy big. Like people who do their zones this thick, it's a red flag because you're not going to get clear entries. You want to always do it based off the candle closures, the body, okay? And then if I'm looking left here, we literally retested exactly to this area. If you wanted to, you maybe could have done it a little bit bigger, but nah, I don't want it that big. I want it like this for now. And yeah, we came down into this area. And another thing about gold is that it wicks a lot of people out. Because with gold, you have to look at something that I learned from other people was that you have to really look at the price levels. You have to look at whole numbers. Gold is really attracted to whole numbers. Look at here, 4960, a whole number. And why price levels are just so nice to mark up, because clearly we've been retesting, and it's okay if price has come in a little bit deeper, but overall you see the main idea. We retested here, and the real break of structure started here. Okay, some people might prefer it here at the zone, but if you wanted a sniper entry, you're gonna mark a level and see, okay, price was attracted to 4960. Same thing here, 4982, another area. Or some people would like 4986, which is actually more precise. They're just resistance levels, and you want to see how price reacts to them. Now, as far as Monday, 9:30, we pushed up. Okay, just like recapping how I would trade based off my strategy. We've clearly been bullish. Resistance, okay, we finally break above. Liquidity sweep. You know it's a liquidity sweep because it's a crazy long wick. And people probably started selling, but we wanted to keep pushing up. We finally break above this zone. Now, some people either trade exactly once they see that price is breaking above the zone, or they wait for the retest. And the retest is always going to be the safest option if you're not as impulsive. And where do you want to be entering? You want to be entering right as you see price is finally trading above the zone. Okay, we retested at 10 a.m. the start of the new hourly candle, and the start of the new hourly candle, and again pushed up, retest, but we finally continued pushing. So it's just not clean, but overall, if you just traded based off the break of structure and retest, how price is trading above the zone, you would want to find an entry somewhere around here. And ideally, you want to find an entry 4945, a price level that gold is just retesting continuously. So that's why the levels are nice to mark, because it gives you these sniper entries. I'm not worried about, like, a lot of people don't know how to enter, but that's just all you need. Okay, we traded above the zone. If I still don't know where to enter, well, I keep seeing that price is using this as a support area. we're not trading below 945 anymore. So that tells us that we want to keep pushing up. Because always when you're in a trade, you want to ask yourself, where are we going next? Like, where do you think price is drawn to based off what it's showing you? And yeah, so that's how Friday would have happened. Now, as far as, like I said, because of everything that's happening with the news and crypto, when crypto's tanking, I mean, gold and silver just tend to naturally be bullish just because people know that those assets are more reliable than crypto. So we closed pretty bearish. You want to see with gold, if we hold below 4976, then you can at least expect the price will continue down into this zone. And same thing, if you see that price finally breaks below this area, then we would just range into this other zone. That doesn't mean we're going to be bearish forever, because overall gold is bullish, but you can already see that we had been ranging. And even if we don't continue selling into down below here, well, you can just tell that we're already ranging. We were ranging from Friday afternoon till closing, so we can continue either ranging at least down to this level. But you definitely want to have at least these zones marked for gold, because we do have to pull back and retest if we want to continue pushing up. And if we start trending upwards, well, you just want to wait to see if price holds above 986 or this major resistance zone, because it's been a lot of resistance. We've been retesting this area so much, so I mean, it would make sense if we broke above that. But that was like a crazy week for gold. Friday, yep, this has been a crazy week. Like, you really could have been swing trading all week with gold. Just wait for the buys. What do? You just wait. You know, like I said, everybody calls it differently. Retest, you want to trade, right? You see this doji? Same thing as my strategy. My strategy will work for any pair. See a doji candle, breakup structure, retest, same thing. You just use the zones as stepping tools. Some people, they really focus on naming it supply and demand, but I don't really like to name anything of that nature, just because market always shifts. You have to be able to adapt what the structure is telling you. But for now, I mean, I don't know. It's very hard to be trading when a pair is also extremely bullish or bearish, or when there's all-time highs. It makes trading harder. Now, it's great if you were one of those people that just held longs, or if you know. And another thing too is, like, when you know what's going on with news and the economy, you know that the market just wants to keep pumping. So like, everybody's like, oh wow, gold, silver is super bullish. It's because of what's happening with the news. So when you know what's going on, then that just helps you in your analysis. But as far as the new week, I mean, I do see that these are on the 1 hour. I could see this ranging for a while, and you just have to wait to see how price reacts to any of these zones. I mean, I don't really like how it looks, but again, I don't ever trade it, so as far as what I see for gold, that's what I see. And then silver is pretty similar. It's the same thing, because they both move the same way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for gold. You just want to see if we start trading above 986 or 976. And again, gold really loves these whole numbers. 960, 945, 940. You want to be looking at these whole numbers. Do y'all journal your... Yeah, you guys should be journaling for paper trading, especially because when you're paper trading and you're already eager to be trading live, well, if you're not journaling, then you're not going to know what's going on when you're actually live trading. It's going to be very overwhelming. Yeah, it'll help track your progress. You gotta track like your emotions, why you entered, if you profited or if you took a loss. Leonor, with futures it's only 250 and up what you need to use, or... Yeah, for a Trade-A-Bait, I know you need 250 for micros and at least $500 if you want to use a mini, because it's regulated. So that's the only main difference with Forex and futures. But if you want to trade Forex, you can just trade it. If you want to trade with less money, you can trade Forex, but you're just going to be dealing with slippage, or, you know, the chart is going to be, it's going to have different price, but it moves the same way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the analysis. Do you guys have any other questions? I hope that helps for gold. I'll look at it to see what happens throughout the week, but I mean, really all week you just needed to look for buys. You needed to look for areas where price would retest to enter buys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then as far as tomorrow, I'll send the analysis, and I'll still watch what happens tonight. I use Liquid Brokers, so I have the link in the Discord chat. I have it under prop firms. But yeah, as for the TradeZella link, you guys will be able to get 20 to 30% off. I'm going to get that situated to hopefully have that by tonight or tomorrow. Hi Rick, so tomorrow I send the analysis at 9 in the morning. You're welcome, guys. I hope this helps, and you know, just backtest and practice. Everything about my strategies in the strategy course. Oh wow, I want to go to Portugal. My mother's side, her last name is Araujo, so we have Portuguese descent. And Carol, don't worry if you got here late, the live will be uploaded. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a good night, and you know, I'll hear from you guys tomorrow, and the whole TradeZella thing will be out soon. You're welcome, Lexi. I'm glad it helps. Thank you, guys. Stay warm. You can find it. It's in my description here on YouTube. It'll say, it'll be a Beacons link. It'll say like resources here. And then if not, you can go on my Discord, and it's in the start here chat in the pin message. No trenches.